Oh, too many. Okay. Well, just in closing, first, thanks for coming. But I always like to, these guys are tired of hearing it, I'm sure. But throughout the project, these are always the three mottos. And this is very obvious, and everybody knows this, but it seems to often get forgotten. And I think particularly, Chris mentioned if you are a partner or even at Appian, if the person has hired you and you sort of show up and the state of their project is, hey, we kind of want to do BPM. Can you help us? It may even almost be a disservice to them. I think there should be some incumbent responsibility on the people who are getting the system to really, really identify that they have a problem, build consensus in their company. Otherwise, the project is much less likely to be successful, in my opinion. If you don't have the buy-in from the business and the people who are going to use the system, it's destined almost to not be a very good project. And that goes right along with processes. Make sure before you even start that everyone has not just talked about the processes, but like actually agreed on them. Because the first two steps of this took about 1.5 years, and the building of Appian took not that long, a couple weeks, a couple months. So we spent 1.5 years on the first two, and then once we select Appian, it was very quick to actually do it. So this is our perspective. Again, we don't claim to know everything about BPM software, so I'd like to open up for feedback or questions. I'll chair the questions, I guess, but if you want to ask for Jay or Chris, that's great.
I got a quick question.
Yes, please.
I saw somewhere you guys mentioned about a searchable knowledge base.
Yeah.
Is it based on the data that's captured using Appian, or is it a Google like search with the contents of the document?
Yeah. Well, I think right now it's more like the Appian tools, but we are definitely looking at the one thing we do is we have a simple, you only have radio buttons to do the priority, because again, we didn't want to have bias, so you have 5 options in 3 different categories, and that's it. But you do, to help the system calculate the magnitude, you do select which sites it affects, or if it's specific turbines. And so you do have functionality down to searching by project, by turbine type, by region, et cetera. So it is, right now it's the Appian tools, we are looking at improving the search, but I have found, honestly, that most people actually use the pie charts in Appian. So you just have pie charts, and if you're interested in a certain kind of problem, you click on the pie chart, and it takes you to that area. And maybe when we have 10,000 issues, it probably won't be so convenient. But with some perspective, most of our cases last several months. So these are not sort of open a ticket, close it a day later. And these are very big issues that drag on for months, and in some cases years. So.
Yeah. You kind of build on my question. So are you saying that you do house your documents within Appian?
That's
you house them in a data warehouse that just happens to link to Appian?
We do all in Appian. We do have a project vault for like the final product that comes out of Appian. If it's a commercial settlement or a contract of some kind, that final document is placed in the project vault, which is our secure document repository. But all of the solution documentation, the review documentation, until the case is closed, all that is stored and versioned in Appian.
So do you have basic forms every time you load those up, albeit maybe simple for right now? Do you have a basic form that you can fill in so many fields to tie the metadata to those projects, forms, et cetera?
The metadata pretty much it populates based on the case, so it pops up on the case dashboard. So if you would kind of know what that document was related to. If it's not built to search by documents, it's built to search by case. So if you want to see a generator, a photo of a generator failure, you'd search for that case, and then the photo would be attached. You can't really search for a photograph of a generator failure.
Because everything's tied to the issues.
Yeah, it's all.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I was interested in your email solution for Tempo.
Okay.
And well, I'm a business guy. So
oh, okay. Well, then maybe I can explain.
I was curious as to the adoption rate of external vendors or whatever that would be sending stuff in with case numbers on it and actually integrating. Because that's we were sitting here before your discussion saying, how would you get someone that doesn't use Appian into the social world? And it seems to be a potential way of doing it, but will they adopt to it? And I was curious to see what your feedback is on that.
I mean, that's a very good question, actually, because I actually did have a conversation with one of our managers regarding that, and that makes perfect sense. Yes, a lot of the times manufacturers might not be open to something of that extent, but we plan on being very transparent to them and be like, this is purely for our purposes. This is how we track issues. We will track it regardless. If you're not going to put in a case number in there, we'll probably take, that's how we've been doing it in the past. We'll take an attachment, we'll save the email file and save it for our references. And putting a case number at the end of the email is not, it's in our inboxes anyways. So I think I think from that perspective, yes, they won't be open to it, going to an external system and using it. However, if we integrate that in email, then it should really not be too much of an issue.
Yeah. The other thing you can do is that you can always just forward it after the fact, even
Right,
if they're
right, yeah.
even if they refuse to participate. Like, yeah, there's a slight extra step to add the case number, but you know, it's you can get around it. So. Yep. Another question.
You guys architect the subtask concept yourselves?
Oh, Jay, come on here. You field some questions. All right.
Good job, Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the subtask feature is actually, I mean, it's made pretty simple. I'm sorry I didn't see who asked that question, but all right. Yes, it is actually a functionality that's available through Appian. We made it available as a quick task to the case. So we just have the solution only sees that quick task. So you'll be say add solution subtasks. And so there's a nice table structure. You put in the name of the person assigned it to, the title, the description, click submit, and it actually just takes that variable, submits it as a task, and it opens up a new task related to that case. So it's something that's totally possible within Appian. But I think making it on an ad hoc basis is something that we find really helps add value to a case. Yes.
Yeah, along the lines of your email, I mean, when you have attachments associated with the case notes, what do you do with it? Do you disregard them, or do you actually try to bring those in as well?
Very good question again. We actually do get email attachments, and they do read when we receive an email, when Appian actually goes in and reads emails from that inbox, the way I program it, we can take in the first email reply, the most recent email reply, and the attachments, and it feeds it to the case dashboard. So we have, as I showed, we have a nice categorization of documents. So we have solution documents, implementation documents, and we have email attachments. And so a case will actually also have all the email attachments that have been sent back and forth as a tracking mechanism. So yes, you can read email attachments and attach them to the case. It's automatic. Any other questions? Yes, please.
What other type of projects are you looking at in terms of using Appian as a platform?
All right.
That's a wonderful question, Glenn. Okay.
Our sales rep.
Finally, I can answer one. Okay. So, Jay and I, actually one time I was on a call with Jay, I think Ben, and he said, "Who are you?" And I was like, I think I'm the only other person in the company that knows what you do. So yeah, Jay and I are the developers, and so Jay has done a wonderful job with case management, and the next steps are mine. Some of the projects that we're looking at are to run supplier qualification. Actually, on the one slide, yeah. I was serious about this idea of cases. So we treat our major value-creating business processes, development, construction, operations, and maintenance, as case-type projects. Within those, we might have processes, and we call those data requests. So in our energy assessment department, these are the people that are measuring the wind and giving us a good example of how profitable a site will be. We have a data request process that I'm working on right now that developers in the site can request updates for their sites that they're working on to get better numbers, to get new layouts for where the turbines are going to go, and that's going to be in addition to the data request system. There's also a case, which is Met Tower installation. These are things we use to measure wind. And this is a long, drawn-out, permit-driven process that requires collaboration from a lot of different departments. Similarly, we have plans to roll out case management to supplier qualification. And this would be an externally facing server where we would actually solicit through email requests to be a qualified supplier for our company, and then run cases internally and talk to all of the different internal departments that need to okay that supplier as to whether or not they'd be good. And finally, we also do a whole lot of transactions with our renewable credits. This is the green attribute of the energy that we produce. And we sell those much like power. It is a commodity. And we have a group in-house that trades and sells these to different buyers, sometimes utilities, sometimes large industrial clients. And we make contracts, and we also will schedule, it's very complicated, we'll schedule different rec bundles from different wind farms to meet these different sales. And so those are all, that is something we would consider to be a very strong case.
I think we're out of time, but I just want to say thanks again for coming. And our name tags all say Horizon Wind Energy because our name changed sort of in the middle. So, but we'll be around the conference. So if you have any other questions, just stop by and we'd be happy to talk. Great.